everyone, I'm Ankita Pokharel. In today's video, we shall learn how to express abilities. Here, we shall do two reading comprehension under the topic Nepal Women's National Team and a conversation at a library. Alongside, we'll also learn a grammar topic and learn how to use could and couldn't to complete sentences. Let's begin the class now. So students, let's start reading the comprehension Women's National Football Team. Football is the most popular game in the world. However, women's football is still not well known. Women now play for Nepal in women's international football competitions. They are called Nepali Chelis. That means Nepali daughters. They have good skills and practice a lot. This will help them play in the Women's World Cup. Their motto is Football for Change. This is to help boys and girls feel equal when playing football. Any gender can play football well. They have won many matches in the South Asian Games. They bet Sri Lanka by 8-0, won Afghanistan with points 13-0 and bet Pakistan with the points 11-0. They lost in the final to India with the points 0-5. In the 1980s, Nepal's first woman captain was Rama Singh. In 2010, Anu Lama scored 3 hat-tricks in the South Asian Games. She was named the best player of the tournament. Okay, we've just finished reading their history. Let me tell you a little bit of more as well. In the 1980s, Nepal had its first female captain. Her name was, what was her name? We just read it. Her name was Rama Singh. And going back to the text and the history, in 2010, Anu Lama achieved an incredible milestone by scoring 3 hat-tricks. Who scored 3 hat-tricks? Anu Lama. Where did she score 3 hat-tricks? She scored 3 hat-tricks in the South Asian Games. And she was also named the best player of the tournament. Isn't it fascinating to see how women in Nepal are making a mark in football? Now, let's move on to some activities. Here, we got to match the words in column A with the meanings in column B. Let's try doing it. Popular. What do you think popular is? Popular is, of course, that's what is liked by many. Let's mark A here. Next number B, competition. Competition means a contest between teams. Let's mark it number B. Number C, hat-tricks. What could be the answer for hat-tricks? Hat-tricks is the 3 goals scored by the same player in a particular match. Let's mark it number C. So it goes like this, okay? International. International means between different countries. That's number D. Equal, the same level or ability. Number E. Captain. Captain means leader of a team. Number F. Gender, girl or boy. And that's number G. So here we got to read the text and answer the given questions. I'll just give some hints and you got to do it on your own as your assignment. What is the Nepali women's football team also called? We have read that it's also called Nepali Cheli. B. Why are they practicing a lot? They're practicing a lot to play in the Women's World Cup. Why is their motto important for women? What was their motto? Do you remember? Their motto was Football for Change. And for sure it's important for women because it promotes gender equality and shows that any gender can excel in football. Likewise, go back to the text and try doing the remaining questions. Now, let's go to another comprehension, and that's at a library. It's a conversation between 2 people, a librarian and a student. Okay, so let's read it out first. Librarian, can I help you? Student says, yes please, I want to borrow some books. What do I need? The librarian replies, you need a library card. Here's the application form. You can take up to 6 books maximum a day. Student, okay, 6 books. Librarian, yes, you have 2 weeks to read the books. Then you need to bring them back. Student, and if I'm late? Librarian, if you're late, then there's a 5 rupee fine a day. Student, okay, 5 rupees a day. Anything else? Librarian, mobile phones must be switched off in the library. You can bring your laptop, but use headphones to watch videos or listen to music. Student, okay, great. Librarian, and you can't bring food or drink. Student, okay, thank you. Librarian, you're welcome. Now that we have finished reading the comprehension, the conversation between the librarian and the student, let's try completing the sentences given. The boy wants to dash some books. What does he want to do? The boy wants to borrow some books, right? He has to fill in a dash form to get the library card. What does he have to fill in? An application form. He can keep books for how many days, do you remember? He can keep books for 2 weeks. If he fails to bring the books back, he has to pay a fine of rupees 5 a day. Remember that, right? They should dash their mobile phones. What should they do to their mobile phones? They should switch off. They can't bring dash in the library. What is not allowed in the library? Food or drinks. Food or drinks are not allowed in the library, hence they can't bring food or drinks in the library is the correct answer. So students, as you see on the screen, here are some statements given and you need to write true or false. Since we have done one exercise earlier together, now this one's going to be your assignment. Go back to the text, read it and try answering this question. So now we are going to learn how to use could and couldn't. This activity is about practicing grammar by using could. Could means past ability and couldn't means past inability. Let's try doing it. Here in this exercise, we need to use one of the verbs given. Do you see verbs here? Here, the parts that I have highlighted, these are the verbs. We need to use these verbs and complete the sentences with could and couldn't. I didn't have a school uniform. I dash to school. So what do you write? You write I couldn't go to school. So we have taken out go. Henry went fishing, but he dashed a fish. So let's first pick a verb. The verb could be catch. Since it's a contradictory but given, so he couldn't catch a fish. The girl climbed up the tree, but what could be the answer? What could be the verb? So here, climb, we use down. So we write the girl climbed up the tree but couldn't, since there is contradiction but given, couldn't climb down. Jack was very strong. He dashed a heavy suitcase. He could what? He could lift. He could lift a heavy suitcase. My sister was sad because she dashed her ice cream. What did she go through? She couldn't. And then we pick a verb from here, eat. She couldn't eat her ice cream. Do you also feel sad if you don't be able to have your ice cream? We all do, because we love ice cream, right? My little sister dashed letters when she was 3. So could read. Picking up the verb read from here, right? We have already picked this. We have already picked this too. David does well last night because of the noise. So let's pick a verb. Could be sleep. Couldn't sleep well last night because of the noise. When Indu was a small kid, she does a computer. What could be the answer? When she was a small kid, if she was extraordinary, she could use it. If she was not, she couldn't. So let's write couldn't for now. She couldn't use, or you may also write could use, okay? My grandfather said he does mountains. He could climb mountains. Pasang does his motorcycle, so he used to walk to school. Pasang couldn't ride his motorcycle, so he used to walk to school. So this is all about this exercise. I have an assignment for you all. So the assignment you have now for your writing part is write a paragraph using could and couldn't, explaining your abilities and inabilities when you were a child. So giving you some hints or tips to write down the paragraph. The first thing you can mention is you can begin or start with general abilities. Here, think about things you were able to do easily when you were a child. For example, it could be riding a bike, playing games, reading books, okay? Next, the other thing you can do here is mentioning specific examples. You can share specific memories of what you could do. For example, I could solve puzzles quickly, or maybe I could sing nursery rhymes. Next, include things you couldn't do. We all have our own abilities and inabilities, right? So since the paragraph is all about writing what we could and what we couldn't when we were a child, you can recall things you struggled with or couldn't do back then. For example, I couldn't swim. Or you can also say, I couldn't tie my shoelaces without any help. The thing that you have to keep in mind is you need to make sure that you write a mix of both positive and negative abilities to reflect how some skills developed over time. You can also use linking phrases for the flow. For example, the phrases like even though, but, however, to connect sentences smoothly. And lastly, end the paragraph by reflecting on how some abilities changed as you grew older. For example, now I can swim well, which I couldn't do as a child. Okay, using these tips, you can write an impressive paragraph on your own. How did your class go today? If you have any suggestions or feedback, feel free to reach out to us at learning@dearwalk.edu.np. See you in the next class with another lesson. Thank you.